It is September 22nd, 2019, and welcome to another Brooklyn Baritone podcast. It hurts, but I gotta keep doing it. That's a quote from Corey Ashley. It's yours truly. The reason I say that quote, I start off with this podcast, is because I'm talking about perseverance. And that quote that I said to myself is a kind of a testament to make sure I go to the gym. Even though I had some aches and pains, I made sure to push forward because I got a goal in mind. Well, let's cut to the chase and let's still start with the definition of perseverance. Persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. That's basically all you need to know of what perseverance is. Persistence and consistency. For the past 2 months, I was doing this little challenge I saw on Instagram called the Heat Challenge. I think the guy's name who started off, is it Donnell Patterson? I don't remember if I'm saying his name properly, but people call him DP. And he's done these challenges and he's actually awarded people a good amount of money for one of the best transformations. Now, doesn't mean the most ripped up person at the end of the challenge is going to get money, because some people already have that basic body composure, but it's people who's were overweight or just not even in proper shape, and you could see the definite results of their perseverance to change themselves, and not just go to the gym, but actually change their lifestyle and how they eat and how they sleep and organize themselves and get their mind and their body to follow to accomplish that goal. So I've gone through many different things, getting in shape, trying to get my mindset right, eat the proper things. And even though I am vegan, there's a lot of things that I wasn't eating that still wasn't in line with holistic living. But knee was hurting, pushed a little bit too hard, but it's okay. At the point where I had like a backache when I was trying to go, rewind months ago to get to the gym. But even though I had my own mental blocks and even physical blocks, I still had a goal in mind. I had to keep pushing forward to do it. This is one example, a very recent example of my own example of perseverance, to push through certain things. It hurts, but I gotta keep doing it, because you got something in mind, and it's something bigger than just the pain that you're going through right now. It's bigger than the situation that you're in right now. You see a destination. You have an end result. You have a desired effect that you want to get to. Since we're starting off with quotes, let's go to another quote. Ask, and it shall be given to you, and ye shall find. Knock, it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asks receives, and he that I'm messing that up. And he that seeks finds, and to him that knocks it shall be opened. That is from Yeshua HaMashiach. That's Jesus Christ. So basically, ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find it. I know I kind of jacked that up. I'll try to do better on the next quote. But basically, keep going. Don't just stop. Basically, he's telling you to go forward and get it. Whatever it is that's burning inside of you, whatever questions you want answered, whatever goals you want to accomplish, whatever it is that you want to grow on, you keep going for it. Don't settle for your own personal comfort zone. You have to get out that. Your strongest competition should be yourself. It may be okay to utilize other people as kind of a reference point, in a sense, competition as well, but don't hold yourself to someone else's standards. We're all going to be subject to that, but then you need to get to a point. That's only for a season. You need to get to a point where you're actually holding your own self accountable. Perseverance is basically accountability. Holding yourself accountable to get to where you want to go. Even if you're not where you want to be, even if you may not even secretly feel you may not be as good in a spot that you may want to aspire to, you keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. You have to push through. Persistence and consistency is the key to it. Okay. Sorry, Yeshua, I messed up your quote. I'll try not to mess up the other quotes here I have from other people who know a little something about pushing. Champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them. A desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have last-minute stamina. They have to be a little faster. They have to have the skill and the will. But the will must be stronger than the skill. That's from the late, great Muhammad Ali. I quote him a few times. Many people look at him as a personality and a drive to persevere as a good reference point. Again, it's very hard to imagine that many people in the very beginning of his boxing career or life or movement towards boxing, people wrote him off because he didn't have the build, the stature, he didn't have the technique, didn't have the strength. He didn't just have what was needed at that time to fit the bill for a successful boxer, and here he is. Even post-mortem, people still refer to this man as, if not the greatest, one of the greatest that ever stepped into the ring, because he persevered. He had something in him that he knew was there and was given the opportunity and gave himself the opportunity to push and push and push. He persevered. And not to get fame, that can come because that's part of you building yourself. Because all these things is a race, a marathon, not a race of the swift, not a race of the swift. That's also in the Bible. But you have to be steadfast. You have to be faithful. You have to have perseverance to go through, because we all will look at a race, the starter block, starting line, whatever you want to call it. On your marks, get set, go, bang, gun goes off. Then you know there's a series of events of usual persistent movement that you have to train yourself through. You have to will yourself through. And then there's a finish line. The finish line will reflect where you are, will reflect who wants to push through. Whether you finish first or finish last, you finish. The thing in between is what many people look to omit from their lives. They're in a certain place now. They want to get somewhere, but they would lack the perseverance and the consistency to get to the end line, to get to the goal. Many people will probably start halfway through, they give up, and they don't really get there or take longer than they need to. They get in their own way. Now, it's very easy to look at success, of who's successful, who left a lasting mark, whose names haven't gone down in the annals of history. You have to remember that these people had to persist every day. They had to persevere through their own shortcomings and downfalls, through other people putting them through hell, through other people and other factors in their lives holding them back, letting them fall flat on their face. They had to get back up. Many people don't have what it takes to get back up. Many people get discouraged easily, but they want that finish line. But you have to push through. It's between the start and the finish. That's what builds your character. Along that route from the start and the finish, that will build your experience. And along that route, you will start to resonate and build properly with other people. And as you resonate, you will attract like energies and people with you. You will gain knowledge. You will gain more discernment of yourself and what you need to do. What you learned today is not what you knew yesterday. Every day is an opportunity to learn something new. That's part of going forward and persevering in life and doing what's inside of you and pushing through. This is what gives success to people. Now, you don't have to be an infamous or famous person or a celebrity or a billionaire. It can come with that, but that's not all it's about, because everyone who ended up being famous didn't even think about being famous. They just knew they had something in them that they had to do, and they pushed and pushed and pushed, regardless of how they felt, how they hurt, how they flopped, how they failed, how much they were humiliated, how much that they were looked over for the next guy or girl, but they kept doing it. You have to remember every step is an important step. You have to step. You have to persevere and keep moving forward and moving up. That's what perseverance is every day. It's an everyday thing. It's not like you're going to get guaranteed everything that you want. You're not going to get guaranteed everything that you want or even when you want it. Some things are just not for you. Some things are not for you right now. You may not be able to appreciate a brand new car in your 40s in the same manner that you probably would treat it in your 20s or teens. You would enjoy it, but I'm very certain in your older age, you would have a little bit more responsibility, more gratitude, and more care about it than you would be in your teens. Not saying no one is capable of being very careful of what they have, but it's that path from start to finish. It's that in between, in those everyday moments in life that you push through to become a better person. I'm not talking about everyday things, talking about goals as well. That's the main thing I'm talking about really, is goals. Anything that you want to accomplish, you have to push through to it. Here's another quote. Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. Greatness will come. That is from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Of course, right now in 2019, he's one of the biggest names known in action movies and entertainment. And he started off really in football and in wrestling, which is quoted as sports entertainment, and then that segued into him. Of course, still he's always been an athlete from pretty much most of his life, so he stayed with that, persevered. You could see it in his body, and you could see the way he carries himself and the way he goes forward, being business minded or being an actor or whatever it is, and he's in many different ventures. He had something inside of him that he persisted in. He persisted and persisted. He had consistency, like he said. Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. You were consistent, you hard work, you put hard work into yourself. You invest the time in yourself, money into yourself, resources into yourself, and building yourself, making sure that you try your best to be better than what you were doing yesterday, or at least last week, or at least last month, or at least last year. You should be able to lay certain things out on the table and say, okay, this is what I accomplished. Not for the sake of looking good for other people, but for the sake of saying, okay, this is another step in what I want to do. And while I was in that process of pushing and being persistent and being consistent with what I need to do, what I need to get out of myself, you will learn more things. You will get more proficient in certain things. You will start to resonate with people, and people will start to be attracted to you. They will see your movement. All right. Now, the first quote, "It hurts, but I got to keep doing it." That's from yours truly. For the 2-month challenge that I did, I didn't get the look that I wanted to, but you got to remember, the weight that I put on wasn't overnight. But the fact that I lost weight and I gained stamina, I used to love to run, and I stopped, that I could at least on the treadmill, a 2-mile run in about 13 minutes. I haven't done it in a long time. That's from persevering every day, getting up every morning, early, doing a fasted cardio, changing the way I ate a little bit. Being that I was already vegan, the switch to actually control the portions more wasn't too hard based on the food that I had. And then staying consistent with it, because I had a goal in mind. Get to a point where you may be tired or you just want to change. So you start putting yourself in that mindset to change. Be consistent with it. The fact that I did that, even within the first few weeks, 2 weeks, I started seeing a change. Beautiful. And what hit me even more, even though I saw myself, I said, I still have so much more work to be done, but it's okay. I still have breath in my lungs, and I have life in my body. I still have opportunities to go and improve myself. And I look to do that physically, spiritually, of course, mentally, professionally, every way possible. Part of the reason why I do this podcast, part of the reason why I look to do what I do and put my posts on Instagram is to hopefully affect people and then take advantage of the people who affect me properly. But back to that challenge I did, when other people were saying, "You're losing weight." That's great. Even though I didn't feel, or I was where I needed to be, but I'm on the path there. The fact that my persistence and consistency, my perseverance to lose weight, to get stronger, get a stronger and better body, take better care of this temple that I have, it shows. It will show. But you have to be willing to put work in it every day. Every day. This is why I talk on the podcast. I may not talk as nice and flowing as I really want to, because there's some people out there who I admire. But there's one Corey Ashley and one Brooklyn Baritone. People who know me will know my voice, how I talk, my pitch of my voice, what I talk about. So I can't be as eloquent as a Dwayne Johnson or even a Martin Luther King or maybe even Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali's Muhammad Ali. Dwayne Johnson's Dwayne Johnson. Martin Luther King is Martin Luther King. I had another quote, which I forgot to put down here, from Steve Jobs. And, well, basically, he lived the mantra of saying that you have to put your best effort in everything that you do. It's not his exact quote, but going off of a lot of his quotes, he basically he didn't care about being the richest guy in the cemetery. He just wanted to make sure he did his best every day and looked to improve himself, looked himself in the mirror and said, am I good with what I see now, what I'm doing now? Am I going to do the same thing today? And if the answer is no consistently, then we have to change. And one of this quote he said from Steve Jobs as well was about 50% of the difference in a successful entrepreneur and not successful entrepreneurs is persistence. They don't persevere. They don't go through. You're going to get knocked down. Life is going to knock you down. People are going to knock you down. It's okay. You got to get back up. Your bones are strong enough. Your skin isn't as thin as you think. You can survive. You will survive. People who have made their billions or millions, or they got their one company off of the ground, or they were able to get that degree, or they were able to get that GED, or they were able to at least lose 5 pounds. These are hallmarks for people who want to persist and persevere because they're ready for a change. They want to better themselves, empower themselves to be a better version of themselves tomorrow. You got to put it to work in today. So at least when you look back at yesterday, you can see the path you've gone. You can see the steps you've taken. And the goal is to be content to know that you're improving yourself and hopefully improving other people around you. You have to push. You have to persevere. Hey, I had people who didn't see me in years. And mind you, as big as I was before the start of this challenge 2 months ago, this is the biggest I've been in, I think, probably ever. So years ago, I was smaller. But to have someone who I didn't see in years, maybe going on 10 years ago, saying, hey, man, you lost weight. You look good. That's a big impact right there. Even though I know this is not where I want to stop at, but the fact of the matter that I persevered and pushed, did that fasted cardio every day, stuck to the diet. Well, that's close, like 90%, 80% stuck to the diet to keep slimming down. Push myself, even though I kind of pushed my knee a little bit. To do 2 miles in 13 minutes is a big thing. Is a big thing. Even when I was running on the regular, I wasn't doing it like that, but I wasn't pushing myself as hard when I was way slimmer. But the fact of the matter is I have results. The fact of the matter is I look to at least improve myself personally, for my people around me, anyone else who I encounter. Because as you can see, I'm designing my apparel. Okay, I design my hats and I design these shirts here. You can see this new shirt here, Brooklyn Runs on podcasts. I at least have to look somewhat decent to showcase my own products, my own designs. Now, of course, I could hire other people. I got a whole bunch of beautiful people who will be showcasing my things. But I at least need to look somewhat decent in my own stuff. So at least I could back up a little bit more of everything that I come and talk about weekly. You're going to have to see it applied in my life. That's part of credibility. No, I'm not making millions of dollars. No, I'm not selling out auditoriums. But see, not yet. I'm not doing this for glory or the fame or anything like that. But when you know you can do something, and you pushing yourself and you consistently developing yourself and always putting yourself out there. As Dwayne Johnson said, greatness will come. As Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, said, for everyone that asks, receives, and he that seeks, finds. And to him that knocks, it shall be opened. And I'm knocking every day. You need to be looking at these doors of opportunities, either creating them or be ready and poised to take advantage when they come along your way. It hurts, but I gotta keep doing it. That's all I have today. I want you to persevere. Whatever you have inside of you, you wake up and you look to put that on your forefront. If you need to, write it down. Get a whiteboard, write it down so it's in your face even more. Set alarms on your smartphones so it could pop up. Set it on the calendar so it could pop up on your laptop or your tablet or your smartphone. Have people around you to remind you. Have something to remind you, whether it's looking at yourself in the mirror every day that you don't like, changing your wardrobe, changing your surroundings, changing your home, changing something about you. All of us have the ability to leave our mark properly here. And that should be the goal. Leave our mark properly to affect others. But more importantly, you have to get yourself together and push through. You fall, get up. If it hurts, it's okay. Bandage it up, keep it moving. Keep it rocking. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you next week. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Visit my website, brooklynbaritone.com. I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. And then I'm also, of course, the podcasts are on iTunes and Google Play. Love you guys. Be blessed.